All right, my name is Will Flack. I'm a full-time permit guide in Belize, Central America. Own and operate the Tres Pescados Fly Shop. Our main location is in San Pedro on Ambergris Caye. We've been open there for 14 seasons. And we have a new fly shop in Hopkins Village, which is in central Belize. And I also have our permit lodge called the Belize Permit Club, and we've been in operation now for 4 years. I got into fishing kind of like most people, I guess. You know, their father or grandfather took them out one day fishing. So my old man took my brother and I fishing for the first time. I caught my first rainbow trout when I was 3. It was in Terrace, British Columbia. My father was stationed there with the RCMP, a K9 unit. And one weekend took me out and I caught it on a red and white spoon. I still got the photo at home. Yeah, that was kind of the moment that started it all. We got transferred, my father got transferred down to Vancouver Island, and that's pretty much where I grew up. Super low tide right now. You know, growing up in Vancouver Island, a lot of trout, a lot of steelhead, a lot of salmon. As a kid, we never went to Disneyland or Hawaii or anything on vacation. It was always camping, canoeing, hiking, skiing, fishing, whatever. But we always had a boat, and we always had a camper. So that was pretty much my adolescence. It's just always being outside. I was an outside kid all the time. I hated being inside. That's how it kind of got started for me. You know, my father planted the seed early on about being outside. And then, you know, I got out of high school, and, you know, I started traveling a little bit more, and, you know, found Belize and fell in love with Belize. I knew on the second day that I was here that it was going to be my home. I knew I was going to move here eventually. I fell in love with the water, you know, the fishing. There's moments in your life where you're just affected by something, and it changes you as a person. And you know, Belize did that to me, as it's done for many people, I'm sure. It's a wonderful place to be. I would spend winters in Belize and then guide back home. I was guiding steelhead out of Smithers, BC for about a decade. I love steelhead fishing. I mean, it's kind of like permit steelhead for me. It's the number 1, 2. Still get back every year. You know, it's nice to get out of the heat and go back to the mountains and the rivers that I love. It's, yeah, I'm blessed, man. I really am. Yeah, these fish live in deep water and they come out on the tide up to these submerged coral flats to feed, so that's what we're targeting right now. Early morning tailors. Surprised there's a lot more tide than I thought there'd be. You know, Belize has got the second largest barrier reef on the planet. It's about 200 miles long, from the northern border of Mexico to the southern border in Guatemala, but creates this great inshore fishery for and habitat for all 3 species, bonefish, permit, and tarpon. The permit habitat that we're fishing at the Permit Club is basically submerged coral flats that come out of hundreds of feet of water, and so those fish are working the tides and waiting for the water and current to come onto the flat. And they come out of the deep and they feed on the crabs and the crustaceans during that tidal cycle, whether that's incoming or outgoing. That's the habitat that we're fishing. A lot of coral, some grass, a little bit of sand, but for the most part, just a giant living organism. It's very pretty. If you ever fish down here, it's very easy on the eyes. Right now, we're just no sun to see into the water, and it's still kind of early, but also the tide's going to drop with this wind changing to the north, so we don't have a lot of water this morning. A lot of people compare this to bow hunting for elk. It's just so difficult. Belize is beautiful. It's my home. I live here because it's the best permit fishing on the planet. Most people will tell you that it's one of the most difficult fish to catch on a fly rod, if not the most difficult, the holy grail, if you will. I always love a challenge no matter what I'm doing. I just like to figure it out. I love to figure things out. So permit fishing for me is a challenge every day. I learn something new. Every single client I take out, every day I go out, every day the tide, the wind, the moon, the sun's different. I just wake up every day and I want to go permit fishing. I want to see if I can get it done, not only for my own personal reasons, but also for the person on the front of the boat, on the bow. And when it does happen, it's so gratifying. And then on the other end, right after it's over, it's like you're miserable till the next time. Where'd he go?
Got him?
You got him?
I don't see him.
I lost him, dude. No, he's right on the brown point in the green, on the back. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on this brown point. You got him? He's right on the back of the rock. He's on top of the rocks, that last brown rock. The last brown rock? Right here, dude. 9 o'clock. Point, yes. Okay. Right there. That's him right there on the back. Drop it. Good. Strip it. You're behind him. Strip slow. Strip. Long. Strip. Strip.
Strip off to the left?
Strip. He's coming. He's in the light green hole. See him?
Yeah.
Go again. Pick it up and drop it. Drop it. You're 5 feet short. Drop it. Drop it. Good. Strip it slow. Strip. Strip it. You know, these fish are super smart. Big eyes, big nasal cavity, big forehead, big brain. They're the smartest fish that swims. Just don't like artificials. But when it comes to fly changes and stuff, it's like, for me, it's a size profile. So size and profile and color. Those are the two defining factors for me. But even more so for me is the way I fish the fly, or the way I instruct my client to fish that fly. Once you've figured out, okay, I'm gonna throw this size crab, this color, and you throw it to 4 or 5 different fish, do you really have to change the fly? Maybe you're not fishing it right. Maybe your client's not fishing it right. For me, that's a gut feeling. You can throw tan all day long in the morning, throw tan all day long in the afternoon. You go back to tan, you throw it to the next fish and he eats it. Why? You know, and that's the question that haunts permit fishermen and permit guides. You're either a permit fisherman or you're not. And if you're a permit fisherman, you understand more times than not the permit win. It's the challenge of trying to swing that ratio in your favor once in a while. But most of the time it doesn't happen. If you want advice, don't be a permit fisherman. It's horrible. Get all this gray hair. That's what happens. Look for the black tails. You see that dark brown rock here? They're right behind it. Direct 9 o'clock. See the big fish coming at you? Drop it. Good. Strip. He's right there. Strip. You see him? Strip it. He's coming. Strip. He's right there in the middle of the green. Go again. Strip it. Drop it now. Good. Strip it. Strip. Epic, dude. Epic. Just didn't want to eat it, man. You can look at the weather and the tides and the moon. I mean, you can prep all you want. For me, as a guide, it's a gut feeling. I mean, you can see all that stuff, you know, and kind of know where you want to go, and then you get out, you look at the current, and you know that's not going to be good for that spot. I mean, I follow my gut and my heart all the time, and I think if you do that, it forces you to become a better guide, and I think it really shows your dedication to what you're doing. You know, I mean, I love to explore, I love to try new things, new flies, you know, new spots. I love to run farther. It's not uncommon for me to run 100 miles in a day in my panga. And some people might look at that and be like, you're wasting my fishing day, you know? When in fact, I'm not really doing that. I'm running 100 miles because I'm going to spots that maybe people aren't fishing, people aren't going to be near. If you fished with me before and you've permit fished in my boat, I don't see a lot of people. I don't fish near a lot of people. I like to go where fish aren't pressured. I like to be in that surreal zone for myself and my client and my area that I'm in, and just be dialed. That's how I like to fish for permit. I love to not do the things that everybody else is doing. I like to do it different. This looks good, man. We've got some better sun today. We've seen quite a few fish the late morning. Webster's been putting
great shots, dropping it like it's hot. We've just had a crazy follow on this white crab on this 25-30 pound fish. Came right at the boat and, like Permit Dude, didn't eat the fly. But we're, as you can see, the tide's super low right now. So we're just gonna keep fishing these basins, these flat edges, hopefully find some floaters or some swimmers. But yeah, a lot more fish than I originally anticipated.
You know, permit fishing is an intense deal. You don't always see a lot. They're really hard to see. They're tough to spot. It's like a fire drill sometimes. It's like, oh my God, there he is. You know, he's 10 o'clock at 25 feet, he's tailing on the coral, and clients like, I can't see him, and you're on the back, he's right there. I mean, it's just like I said, it's these like crazy highs and like a whole bunch of information all at once, and visuals and wind in your ear and boat drifting and guide talking to you and you trying to keep your line on the boat and you can't see the fish and you're trying to take direction and then it doesn't happen and you see that fish swim away finally and then you're just defeated. I mean, I don't even know why we do it. It's crazy.
There's two of them. There's that one you see, and 10 feet to the right is another one. See them both? Yep, he's in that little brown spot. There's two of them. Get ready. They're at 10 o'clock. They're just right at that brown point down there. See them? Okay, keep your eye on them. Get that line in the boat, brother. They're right in the second brown patch right here at 9. See him going in the white? Okay, they're right here, 12 o'clock. Edge of the green. Right there, that's them. Go. They're on the bottom, coming at you. Yep. Drop it. You're in them. Strip. 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 You're in them. He's coming. Strip. Slow. Strip, strip. Put it in him again. Drop it right. Good. Strip. Slower, dude. Slow. Strip. Strip. You see him at 1 o'clock? You have to backhand, dude. Strip. Too much. Right. Drop it. Good. Slow. Slow. All in front of him. Strip it. Strip. He's on it. Strip it. More. Strip. Strip. He's coming. Strip it. We're missing him. Strip. He's trying to eat it. Don't lift your rod. Strip. Strip. Dude, I think he ate that fly. Pretty good shot, bro. Pretty good shot. Check that fly. That last shot was good, man. You showed it to all four of them.
It's humbling. It's humbling. If you want to come permit fishing, it's a humbling experience. Even as a guide, I mean, you go out there and you just pushing that boat as hard as you can, and you're 150%, you know, 250 days a year, and it's exhausting physically and even more so mentally, because you just want it to work out so bad for your client on the front. We're so invested in it for our clients and for our friends that we want it as bad as you want it. A lot of people try permit fishing and they don't come back to it. That's the truth. They just walk away. They'd rather go bone fishing or something, and which is totally fine. Permit fishing's not for everybody. There's not very many people that are doing it full time, like hardcore. They go fishing and they go permit fishing.
That's amazing. Right on the side.
Fly change right there.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's thanks, Will. Appreciate
Welcome,
it,
brother.
dude.
Welcome.
You're a rock star. Appreciate it.
Ready to let him go?
Way to go, Devil. Thank you. Nice work, dude. Nice work. Thank you.
I love it. Belize, baby.
I love the people in Belize. I love the waters that we fish. Really blessed to be right in the mix of things. We just work hard at what we do. Our lives revolve around the tides and what the permit are doing, period. That's it. Everything else is after that. Two things in my life right now. It's just, you know, I go permit fishing and I play with my daughter. That's the life of Will Flack.